Welcome to this first episode of weekly-ish horror news. I'll be using these short videos to update you on things you want to know, things you've never heard of, and things so bad, they're brilliant. And in this first edition, I've also got some pretty freaking cool news for any fans of Freddy Krueger, so stick around to the end. Let's get started. The trailer's finally dropped for Ari Aster's new movie, Beau is Afraid. This is his third movie after Hereditary and Midsommar, and it's also the third movie of his to be produced by A24.
Joaquin Phoenix stars as Beau, and the movie's tagline is, "From his darkest fears comes the greatest adventure." The movie's being described as an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. Just like Hereditary and Midsommar, Aster wrote and directed Beau is Afraid. He's previously described the movie as a nightmare comedy that would be well over 4 hours long.
While I've no idea of the actual runtime, I do know that the movie hits theaters on April 21st and that I am wicked excited.
Kevin Williamson's dragging us all back into the pandemic with 2023's Sick, which is his first original screenplay since 2005.
Who the hell is Kevin Williamson, you ask?
If you've seen Scream, or I Know What You Did Last Summer, you're familiar with some of Kevin's screenwriting. He was a huge deal in the 90s, but things went squirrely for him around 2005 after a couple of duds. Then he ended up finding steady full-time work as a writer for the Vampire Diaries series.
Kevin is known for his formulaic approach to slasher movies, and if you've seen any two of his films, you'll know what I'm talking about. That successful formula is on full display with this new slasher, Sick.
It's directed by John Hymans, and if you liked Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of flicks, you're gonna dig this one. Sick's a sleek horror mystery set right in the middle of the 2020 pandemic. As the world comes to a halt, Parker and her best friend Miri decide to quarantine at the family lake all by themselves.
Or at least they think they're all by themselves. See, that's the formula. There's a trailer for the movie here on YouTube, and I've linked to it below. The movie's premiering on Peacock on Friday the 13th of January. Which is pretty friggin' soon. Of all of the movies releasing in 2023, Infinity Pool is one of the ones I am really looking forward to.
This is Brandon Cronenberg's newest release after Possessor in 2020. It stars Alexander Skarsgård, Cleopatra Coleman, and Mia Goth, who's quickly becoming one of horror's go-to girls. They've released this new movie poster, and it reminds me of one of my favorite Hungarian dishes from childhood. If you've never had chicken paprikash with nougatli, it looks like this. And if you have had it,
my dad's was better than your dad's.
If you're not already familiar with Infinity Pool's premise, Skarsgård and Coleman are enjoying the perfect vacation in the loveliest of exotic locations when Mia Goth introduces them to the world outside the resort, which is violent and hedonistic. An accident leaves them facing a zero-tolerance policy for crime, and that's all I'm gonna say. Infinity Pool's in theaters January 27th, 2023.
Scream Factory is a company that releases box sets and Blu-rays of previously released classic and cult horror movies. And they've announced they'll be releasing a 4K Ultra HD version of The Exorcist Part 3.
In my humble horror opinion, this movie is the best Part 3 in any movie series, let alone a horror one. Which is saying a hell of a lot given the state of The Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Which is practically a vulgar word amongst horror fans.
William Peter Blatty, who wrote the original novel The Exorcist and the screenplay for the first movie, directed Part 3, and a lot of people attribute the movie's strange ambiance to Peter's total lack of experience with directing.
If you haven't seen it already, it is a thing of horror beauty because it's weird and unique and seriously chilling at times.
It also contains arguably the best jump scare in movie history. And if you've seen it, you either agree with me or you think there's a better one. Comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. The movie stars Brad Dourif from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and a little movie called Child's Play, Jason Miller, who was Father Damien Karras in the original Exorcist, and George C. Scott from The Changeling.
Which is another one you have to see if you haven't seen already.
Scream Factory's releasing Exorcist 3 on 4K Ultra HD from March 29th. So grab yourself a copy of the ultra clear, ultra creepy movie if Blu-rays are your sort of thing.
I'm a Laserdisc guy myself. Bigger's better. If you're a fan of the horror legend Bill Moseley, and why wouldn't you be, you might be excited to learn about the upcoming Christmas horror anthology, Nightmare, at Precinct 84.
Movie stars Bill Moseley from The Devil's Rejects, Jenna Cannell from Terrifier, Justin Miles from The Walking Dead, and Gigi Gustin from The Retaliators.
To name a few.
Without giving anything away, the anthology takes place on Christmas Eve in a police station. There are 4 interconnected stories, and if you don't want the plot spoiled, don't read up on this movie online. For reasons I'm not intelligent enough to understand, I found the entire plot detailed along with the rest of the promotional material, and I wasn't even looking for it.
And that really got up my nose.
There's an official trailer on YouTube, and I've linked it below.
And in this week's So Bad It's Brilliant category,
you may or may not have heard about the brand new, upcoming action-adventure horror movie from Gravitas Ventures.
You haven't. Trust me.
It's called Bermuda Island, and it's about a plane full of passengers on their way to Puerto Rico. When the plane crashes, they find themselves stranded on the deserted island of royalty-free stock footage land. And it doesn't take long before they learn something's lurking in the darkness. There is a trailer available here on YouTube, and I've linked to it below. One of my favorite parts of the trailer is watching the actors pretend they've hit a patch of turbulence. I really enjoy how they all seem to be experiencing it at different times on the same plane. The movie's set to release on January 20th on VOD, Blu-ray, and DVD from Gravitas Ventures. I don't have any details yet on which streaming service they'll rope into putting it out, but I can say this.
The movie stars Sarah French, John Wells, and Tom frickin' Sizemore, who used to be legendary. And now he's doing this.
Oh, that image will make you flock to Bermuda Island for a belly laugh, or run the flock away to escape dying from secondhand embarrassment.
Personally, I love watching accomplished actors working without all the glitz and the glam and the glory. Really knocks them down a notch, huh?
And finally, for all you Freddy fans, if you're a fan of Freddy Krueger, and we here at Weekly-ish Horror News definitely are,
doesn't it sound like we're a big, huge team?
Then you're in for a terrifying treat with Fredheads, a documentary about the people who love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. A group of friends who met through their mutual love for Nightmare venture out to capture the stories of other fans from all around the world. In addition to convention footage and online submissions, the film also features testimonials from Elm Street alumni. Fredheads was bought by Bayview Entertainment, and their VP of Acquisitions, Peter Castro, says he's really excited to bring Freddy back on February 14th, 2023.
There's a full Facebook page dedicated to it, and you can pre-order it via Amazon. I've stuck both links down below, and in the name of full disclosure, I never have any attachment to any of the links I provide you guys. I just enjoy spreading the horror love. And that's it for this first edition of Weekly-ish Horror News. If you're wondering about something specific, or you'd like to make me aware of something new, please feel free to do so down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing so we can do this again. Until next time, folks.
It's me, Jonny, from that thing you just watched. If you enjoyed it, go down there and smash me in the face to subscribe. And if you want to watch another thing, there's one right there. Do it!